Good morning. Now, today's subject, something that I've never really spoken about on my channel, but I have an interest in, and that's prepping. Now, it's a funny subject, mainly because an awful lot of people that are preppers, and I use the term loosely, don't talk about it for several reasons. Mainly because of how they are portrayed in the media and movies and that sort of thing. As soon as you say someone's a prepper, you think of some American guy with enough arms and ammunition to start World War III, a nuclear bunker buried somewhere, and 10 years worth of food stored up and that sort of thing. And yes, those people do exist, but they are in the minority. There is a growing number of people out there that are preppers with a small p, shall I say. Do I class myself as a prepper? No, I don't. There's some of their ideas and so on I like. I just like to think I'm more of a prepared person, so I suppose I fall in the prepper category. But I think it's something that in the current climate everyone should really think about. It varies throughout the prepper community what people are prepping for, and the whole prepping thing is a massive minefield. It's something that if I put in one video it would go on for hours, so I thought I'd just do this short video with my views, and if there's interest and subscribers, want to know a bit more, I will talk at a later date on individual sort of subject matter to break it down, because the subject is just too big. The first thing to think about, of course, is what are people prepping for? Now, I've made some notes, and mainly, as I say, it's such a big subject, just to sort of keep myself on track, really. If you get to the, should we say, the top tier in some ways of preppers, there's the, I suppose it's harsh to call them nutters, but it's personal view as ever. These people that are prepping for alien invasion, the rise of zombies, that sort of thing, the next nuclear war. Are these things going to happen? It's very unlikely, isn't it? Let's face it, really. If that's your thing, go for it. Who am I to tell you what to prep for? But personally, I think in that sort of situation, if any of that was to happen, what we can do as mere mortals would be a waste of time. You're just prolonging the inevitable, shall we say. Coming down to the next tier, I suppose you'd say, which is something I think is possible, and that's civil unrest. Now, we've seen just even recent times this so-called petrol shortage, massive queues at petrol stations, even fights breaking out when people have been accused of jumping the queue, etc., etc. It's just pathetic, isn't it? But it happens. The same as some of these protest movements. If you get enough people of the same mindset in one place and have, should we say, 1,000 plus protesters in one street, it's only going to take a few idiots to make things kick off, and then windows start getting broken and things like that. Is it something you can prep for? No, not really. If it's in your street, I suppose knowing the best way to secure your personal space, your household, and knowing the best way out, the back door as it were, just to escape this stuff. Civil unrest is a possibility, certainly with everything that's going on with, shall we say, I don't like to say the word, whether you're pro or for the injections that are going on at the moment. I can see, regardless of what side of the camp you're on, if they get to a point of actually enforcing that rather than it being a choice, things are going to kick off. So yeah, watch this space. Yeah, civil unrest is a possibility. I mean, look how bad it turned a few years ago with the London riots. Started off with a justified or unjustified, whichever way you look at it, shooting of an unarmed man. Protests started. Before you know it, it escalated into, looting, etc., etc., in a small area, which then become more widespread across London. Next thing you know, it's kicking off in other major cities around the country. These things can happen and they can escalate quite quickly. Can you prep for that? You never know when it's going to kick off. You just need to have a bit of a plan. All things that I can sort of go into more detail when there's time and if there's interest, of course. Coming down to the next level down, should we say, power. If your electric goes off at home, if it's an hour or so, it's an inconvenience. If it's a day or more, it's a bloody big inconvenience. How many people know what to do or are prepared for 24 hours plus with no power? So potentially no cooking, no heating, no lighting. Your fridge is only going to stay cold for X amount of time. This sort of thing. There's ways around it. A lot of people haven't even thought about it. A lot of people have a baby if the internet goes down for a day. Can you imagine if the electric went down for a day? Same can be said for flooding, which is something we are seeing more of now. Whether you believe in the whole climate change thing or not, it seems that we are getting more flooding events. If you live in a floodplain area, have you got a plan if the worst should happen? I know I did as a kid because we lived right next to a river and got flooded frequently. I live on a hill now. No matter where I ever live for the rest of my life, I'm always going to be on a hill. I've lived through the whole flooding thing. I don't want to do it again. And then dropping down to something that's, very serious, but much, much more possible, especially in the current climate, unemployment. Now, people always think of prepping as, the disaster scenario. But the way things are at the moment, if you suddenly found yourself unemployed, yes, there is a safety net there. There's the social system. How good is it? I don't know. I've never used it. But I understand these things don't kick in straight away. If you was made unemployed today, and you had to wait, 28 days before getting any money from the government, could you still buy food? Have you a contingency? Would you still be able to put fuel in your car? And we're not just talking about savings. That's not always the answer. It's a good thing if you are able to save some money, rainy day money. Not everybody is able to do that. There's ways around it. But yeah, the most basic level, sudden unemployment. Ready for that? It's worth thinking about. And then, there is very simple things you can do to get you through these power cuts, these 24-hour things. Just really basic stuff, which I can go into if there's the interest. I'm not a prepper, not as such. I'm not an expert, but I do have a plan. And also a lot of people that are into the whole wild camping thing, really, you've got all the stuff at your disposal already to get through most short-term emergencies. So yeah, if there's interest in this sort of subject, I can make some more videos. Not all the time. I might pop out, one a month on the subject, something like that. It'll still be a wild camping channel. But yeah, if there's interest, let me know in the comments and we can go into certain areas in depth. Say it's a big subject, huge subject. You can never cover it in 5 videos. No way. But yeah, just certain areas we could break down and look at in detail. And my personal take on it, and how I would hopefully get through it, which might give ideas to others. And of course, in the comments section, I might get ideas too, which is always a good thing. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. I know it's a bit of an odd video to make, but you know me, I like to mix things up.